Hey, what's going on? Okay. Um, it is 7:13, January 10th. Pardon me. Friday, 7:13 p.m. on Friday. I have those special lips where it is like the color of my lips, and then there's another space to define for my lips. It's something called like double lip something. Um, so when people who are watching me too closely instead of minding their business in their lives. They like to criticize, everything in my body. One of them being this, and I'm just like, oh my god, it really sucks for you. You must be jealous of this. But it's simply something I was born with. Okay. Anyway, I wanted to come up on this video because, and I wanted to make it public. Typically, I make a video to be private or unlisted, but I wanted to come up on here and do a public video. I was gonna do the video. Well, the video was going to be about you guys watching me to finally do like another TikTok, but this one was going to be something in regards to like a stitch that they call on TikTok. And I know that the app is leaving soon, but I wanted to do one regardless. But I wanted to do one regardless. And I was thinking, oh yeah, like this would be fun. Just to kind of, do that and get that out of the way. Plus, another thing that I wanted to do was to just kind of organize myself a lot better, and not only just to organize myself, but to do a dry run regarding executing tasks and responsibilities. I've been doing that obviously all my life. I've been the kind of person who's been taking care of others and the person who has been the go-to person in times of, a crisis. I mean, ergo because of situations. But and people have just been lying on me and using like the most wicked things in order to try to well, just abuse and exploit me. So I wanted to come up on here, not just because not for the public, naturally, because the public seems to be very flip floppy, and I mean, people should have already known exactly as to why what's been going on with me. But now that I've spoken out about it, it's really disconcerting, and it's really offensive that people are justifying having exploited me and wanting to and having abused me. So yeah, I am doing this video to switch that up. What the original intention is, I'm actually going to also note that down so that way I can try to do that later. Now I'm just gonna brush his hair. I'm gonna do my hair over for the weekend. What I'm gonna do, don't really know yet. I have a couple ideas. More than likely, it's gonna be either the curly thing, or I might just kind of blow it out and do some. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. But I know I want to wash my hair and I want to try to do something that's more just like easy going for a while as I run errands and then prep for school and all that other kind of stuff. So I am no stranger to betrayal. I've had a lot of people come behind my back and do some awful bullshit, and all the while, in an attempt for drama and opportunities, it has come with the cost of them fucking up their own lives as well as my own and other people's. So, I mean, they would get like, temporary gain. And I've mentioned this before. It's called monkey paw, where they would sacrifice or give up one thing in order to get something. And it ended up kind of like shooting them in the foot. I have a notepad with me but obviously, the default pages are written them because I'm old school. I like to kind of write and just to draw a lot. So I love just like clean piece of paper and just kind of like writing in it. Yeah. So here is some plain paper. Bam. Obviously, there's writing here, but I'm not going to use that. I'm going to use this right here, as you can see, up close and personal. It is plain, and then on here it is plain too. So I'm not trying to like cheat or anything of that nature, but I just want to go ahead and even this right here is some jibber jabber. In fact, hold on. Let's see. One, two, one, two. Actually, I'll use this. So see, look, that way you can't see what's on the other page in here. Bam, bam. And this one right here says the next page after this says sneakers and long dress or skirt. Yeah. So that is what my notes are. Well, my notepad looks like because I'm gonna write some notes as to what I want to discuss. I want to address several things, but I'll try to make it quick and short. All right. So here goes. I am subjected to cruelty and cruelness, and I've cut off people who are relatives, people who are ex-friends, people within the community. Excuse me, not community, but people within the city of New Jersey, city of Trenton, and then outside of Trenton, within the entire tri-state. There's nobody that I fuck with or talk to. Outside of that, there's nobody that I fuck with or talk to. The person who I was literally hanging out with the other day, not the other day, but like the other day during the video where I was using like security, using YouTube as security, I don't talk to them anymore either. I have boundaries, and when people, though, that person was triangulating messages from people trying to get in contact with me. So basically, there's people who I've cut off who are salty that I cut them off, that will try to stalk me to the point where they will watch my entire moves, then make lies about what it is that I am or who it is that I was, making lies about that too, in order to distort the view or perception of who it is I am, in order for that other person to not want to talk to me or to see me in a very not attractive light. So what happens is slowly but surely, but not too slowly because these people seem to be lazier than normal. They will start triangulating messages. They'll start conveying messages and channel. They'll be the third person. It's almost like playing the telephone, where it's like, okay, I don't want to hear you. I don't want to see you. I don't want to talk to you. And they don't take those boundaries politely or at all. They take it with very hard disrespect. These are people who hate rejection. These are people who are obviously, it's crazy because the people who you would normally see in like high positions or high status, like boss types or whatever like that, they feel like, okay, well, they feel like with rejection it just means an easy way for you guys. It feels like it's for some people, for some, they take it as a challenge to say yes, a challenge to get somebody to be beaten down and aggressive. But you know what that tells me? That gives me the idea of rape. That gives me where you are sitting on a bed with a guy and you tell that person no, that you don't want to go further. And then they're trying to negotiate or trying to tell you, oh no, go do this. No, like if you do this, to beat you down and for you to acquiesce or for you to submit. Now, something like that I'm not into, but it's definitely something I've seen a lot on social media, and you guys can definitely would agree more than likely because we all use social media. Well, most of us use social media, excuse me. And it's weird because women understand that, but they think that they're so fucking special that they are not the same kind of people, or that they don't carry that same kind of energy when they're being that trifling, that demanding, and that self-entitled to other people's boundaries, whether it's an ex-friend, whether it's a child, like a daughter, whether any kind of female figure, or female, where young to old, any kind of person. Those women do not like rejection, and it is an ugly, ugly trait for them to have. I do not want any parts of it. So when I hear somebody who I've allowed to not just be in my circle, but be in the proximity to, for me to tolerate them enough, it's just like, okay, look, like you're here, blah, blah, blah. Not more so like, in a classroom setting or something like that. If you feel the need, because likely you were paid or some shit, to state a message, I'm like, at the very end of the day, go fuck yourself. I will, it's a freedom of speech. You'll say whatever it is that you wanted to say, but it didn't allow me to allow you to have access to my heart and to my mind to reconsider or even doubt my moves. I am too intelligent for that. And I'm too confident in that. I would like you weren't there when I was being harmed. You weren't there when I was being betrayed. You're listening to punk ass bitches who were telling you stuff that they couldn't tell me directly when they had the opportunity to. And so now here we are, where they're over here trying to lie in order to try to save face. And I'm over here moving accordingly. And it's just like I'm a very confident person within myself, and that bothers so many people and so many Black people too. Right now, obviously, because I've been exploited and there's so many opportunities going on right now, a lot of Black people are trying to save face. And again, it's always just a fucking embarrassment for the rest of people in the Black community who just, they don't want to smoke. They don't want anything. They just, or they at least respect exactly what the position that I'm in. So my thing that I wanted to come up on here and tell you guys is just that when you're dealing with somebody who's a yapper, and that's really a popular word amongst a lot of women and feminine men and just men who want to have sex with those particular women and feminine men, then and or want to befriend, because you know how those certain kind of white people will do any damn near anything to just have a fucking Black friend, like it's a damn accessory, or to be accepted more into the culture, disingenuously with ill intentions, where you are showing that you are inherently racist, and then you wonder why the Black people that you befriended on silent terms does not fully trust you. It's insane. But nonetheless, I'm, I'm provoked as I'm doing my own thing and dealing with those kind of people who are trying to assault my character and doing a whole lot of dumb shit in the background, offline as well as online. Now, here's the thing about me: as you're trying to pick me apart, I'm way far more attractive than you, because then you would not have been going this fucking far in order to try to come up against me. You would not, and I'll touch on that subject later. Right now, I actually want to show you guys on what I have going on with the TikTok, where it's just like unprovoked. I'm literally following certain accounts and certain kind of influencers or people who I follow will go ahead and subliminally go ahead and retweet and repost. And if they're on the live, then they will go ahead and try to shade and triangulate information or messages in order to go ahead and try to shade me or something like that. And I'm just like, look, that just shows that you are the problem. When I said that Black people were not were, but still are my abusers, and Black people are fucking ugly regarding this abuse and how they redefined and replayed the same tactics that the people did originally in American history with African American slavery. They got their panties in a bunch, both male and female. They got their panties in a fucking bunch. It's utterly disgusting. They're like, how dare you? How dare I what? Tell you the fucking truth? You calling me crazy, but I'm damn not like I'm damn not incorrect. Like let it be known. Let it be known. You guys are really fucking pathetic when it comes to this shit. You are embarrassing. Like you're talking about Black excellence while going ahead to discredit anything that I do, or any kind of being, or any kind of achievement that I've done, or just who I am, and that's really pathetic. It's extremely pathetic. You guys are competing within yourselves and not just boosting each other up. Imagine, if you will, because you are crabs in a barrel. Imagine, if you will, you're over here trying to get yourself out into the sunlight because you've just been placed down into a barrel. And it's just like, no, we only need the strongest. Like, leave the people who are handicapped, leave the people who are disfigured, leave the people who are da 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 da. You see one of the strongest crustaceans or whatever like that, who's actually probably not even affiliated with you bitches, considering on like how fucking snarky you guys and ugly you guys are. But you see something, and you're like, oh my God, like this person's a rock, or like this crustacean's a rock. And like, I'm not a rock. I'm literally one of you guys who have been, put into the pit. You're just like, shut up, rock. And so you treat the crustacean as a fucking rock, and you all just kind of like, stand on top of the fucking crustacean to the point where, like, obviously things are crumbling and things are, the bedrock beneath you is falling. It's it's literally giving way because it's not sturdy enough. You show that you are incompetent when it comes to caring for people. You show that you are fucking toxic as fuck when it comes to truly nurturing and being there for people. You are horrible, horrible, horrible. Um, Let me just go ahead and put this right in here for the plans. And that's being completely honest. Like that's your fault. That is fucking your fault. That has nothing to do with me. Your problems have absolutely nothing to do with me, even though you keep trying to keep making it my fucking problem. It's pathetic. It's really fucking pathetic. And people already know this. So I'll just leave it at that for right now. For right now. Another thing that I wanted to touch upon is just that when it comes to dealing with another thing I want to touch upon when dealing with angry, bitter Black people that are embarrassment to the entire Black community, but to be understood, is just that every respective race, every race, has their embarrassing group. I'm pretty sure not everyone in their entirety under the German, the German identification was a Nazi. You feel me? Like there were some people that were housing other Jews in the other house. So it's one thing for when you hear German or you hear Germany or you hear Germans, you're thinking, immediately you think of Nazi, and you go into your defensiveness and you go into the history and you just you immediately think of Holocaust too. And it's just like there were some people within that history who weren't the fucking villain. People who were actually disgusted by the horrific things that have happened in the past. And the same thing played out in America. There were people, there were white people, and people that were white also. There were white people, and there were freed Black men, and and also people who were Native American. There were people basically that were non-Black and Black that collaborate together in order to form organizations in order to help Black people. Especially, I remember the white people, I mean, not like I was there, but like the white people that formed the group that helped represent the people within Amistad on the ship to tell, to get them basically released and not back into the hands of their capturers. We don't talk about that often. Mostly because the entire history is just an extremely a fucking horror story, and but it's been made real, and also we're being distracted by the fact that there are people within America that is trying to gaslight us and trying to cover and conceal a lot of American African American history. Some of those obviously is really kind of crazy because you see a lot of Black people still doing the fuck shit that was done to Blacks by white people. They're doing it today, which gives permission and by self-entitlement the white people to feel entitled to go ahead and do the things where they are gaslighting and deleting kind of information or kind of concealing it, you know. And black people are like, no, don't do that. But white people are not going to say it out loud, but they're just like, well, you do. Like you're doing it. You're lying. You're exploiting and all that other kind of stuff. You're giving the green fucking light. And I've mentioned that before on Facebook. So yeah, won't go too much into that. What I will go into the next part is about dealing with somebody who is a Gemini, a constant gapper, somebody who is very deeply insecure, even though they've done the things where they've lost the weight, they've done the plastic surgery, they've gone ahead and lied, and I've been ostracized, and to the point where I've even self-isolated because there's obviously, like I said, there's people who try to triangulate messages and whatnot like that, and I refuse because of my boundaries to be put into a situation where I can be in an environment or in an area where people are likely to set me up. In Trenton, New Jersey, there are people who are definitely have that mentality as that person who has betrayed me to go off and kill a lot of people within their own families and their closest range, because from that close range, nobody could expect it. If you look back in history during all these they've been kind of quiet for about maybe a year or two though, but there has been people who have been posting their rest in peace and things of that nature. blaming it on drugs or supposed suicide, something like that. But in actuality, what happens is these people will kill their closest relative or friend, pull a Shaquella Robinson, or do something else horrible to said person who they were connected to, relative or whatever, or whatnot like that, and then either deem it as a suicide or an accident. So what the fuck do you think that you think that you can actually gaslight me to go ahead and want to welcome or accept anybody into my social circle, knowing goddamn well that you've already shown your true colors. You keep trying to triangulate information. You have like this weird intuition. I'm sorry, not weird intuition. Like I have intuition on your weird energy in your existence based off on how you are carrying yourself around me. Like they're just really like it's so easy. Like you guys are so fucking stupid because of your cockiness and arrogance to the point where you think that, oh yeah, I can get over on her, I can fool her easy, and it's just like no, like no, you have to actually prove yourself, and you can't. So you get the most basic ass. It more than likely, depending on how you come to me, is how I address you. So if you're polite to me, then I will be polite to you. And typically, what happens is that 99% of the time, you have to step to me because I'm a person who's definitely recluse and more so comfortable in my own fucking environment and my own fucking realm. So for you to actually talk to me, you have to start with some fucking respect and some politeness. Because if you don't, well then you're shit out of luck, and then you lose out on your little fucking funds or whatever like that, your little opportunity in order to get into my space. And so about that, about that. But yeah, so when you're dealing with somebody who is a constant yapper, who somebody who loves to just talk a whole bunch of bullshit, I'm at the place where like I've already established exactly like what the hell is going on. This city is rampant and just run down with a whole bunch of toxic people because it initially started within years about a bunch of people doing like the corruption. It started off the reason why a lot of people say that, oh, it's not that serious is because it initially started off as a joke behind my back at my expense. Somebody who was a deeply, like somebody, an overweight woman who was deeply insecure and hurting at the time, decided to take it upon herself to do some really sneak shit, carry that shit from high school into adulthood, doing some really nasty stuff behind my back, from lying to anybody who I would try to date or anybody who I was dating, anybody who I was in a relationship with. And I've only been asked about marriage and stuff like that twice, and I had the ring once. So it was just like at this point in time, this person was really into about getting, having sex with the person who I was with. Well, actually, a few people I was with, um, respectively. Not obviously not at the same time. I'm like, but respectively. So at this point in time, I'm here, I'm single, and now that I'm being more outgoing per se, I'm still recluse. um but I'm coming up on social media more. I will be taking more pictures, more photos. Don't know what we're going to do. There's not going to be any more TikTok. I am going to court about this stuff. Put on an unlisted video about the restraining order situation, and yeah, that's really what we got going on that I choose to share with you at this point in time. But yeah, when you're dealing with somebody who wants to always make up lies, somebody who's always talking about nothing but just trying to put me down and trying to make it seem like, oh, you're trying to help me. Why? If I already told you I don't want anything to do with you, why are you making me the subject of your life? you know? And it's not in me becoming defensive at your offense. Right now, I'm actually being really, like, inquisitive. And I think that's something that would need to happen when you have somebody like that, because she definitely, like, and other people who like practice with her, like to talk, like to talk. So if somebody like that, and it's so crazy because, like, obviously this person's a bad parent. So it's just like, you're a bad parent, you're a horrible person, you're a goddamn awful best friend. Like, so like that's why you were dismissed. And so somebody like that would definitely have the character. I was looking for Sebastian, but like somebody like that would definitely have the characteristics where it's just like, okay, so you don't want to. Pardon me, I just want to put this down Oh wait, hold on. So somebody like that who wants to always be like a fucking yapper, just give them fucking questions. That's all you have to do. Just talk and just give them the questions about them. Just turn it around on them. So whenever you guys are talking about me, just turn it around on you. Because obviously, whenever I call you out for your own bullshit, you get your fucking feelings. So I always just wonder, is just like, like, so what have you done recently? Okay, you just got an award. Okay, well, did you buy that? Because nowadays, even like, what is it? The Globe Award, something like that, is like fucking Forbes. It's like fucking Forbes list. Okay, like you can buy that. Seems like you're buying your awards nowadays. Snaps up to the wicked because that's what it seems like. It seems like you can actually just buy your way into certain things, and I think I'm trying to use that as a distraction. But now, now we have the fires in LA to kind of distract us, which is an important thing to discuss too. But the Golden Globes is no longer a talked about issue because right now we have the fires going on in LA and the devastating loss of people's homes and thankfully not people's lives and not many people's lives if there have been and but a lot of damage done, especially with the animals. That part is really fucked up too, and the land too. Jeez, oxygen, the trees. Some of that does seem like deforestation, and it seems very coincidental at the time too. Look at how devastating and violent people are willing to act in order to distract you. It can be something as simple as, oh look, you can talk about like Golden Globes and like how violent people are willing to go ahead and distract you in order to not talk about simple entertainment and harmless issues. You think about that. So yeah. I'm not saying that's the sole reason, but that is a very contributive reason for people to really be fucking messy, and you wonder exactly why the world is what it is, and because a lot of you guys allow that shit to happen. Be very fucking honest with you. Be very fucking honest with you. Did anybody see the content about the guys who've been starting fires on purpose? Well, thank goodness that they've been apprehended. Oh yeah. So yeah, when you're dealing with a chatty ass Gemini, just ask questions about them. And if you don't want to ask questions about them because you don't want the air quote gun pointed at you, just ask those questions in your mind. Ask those questions in your mind. You'll see it for yourself, and then you can start liking me for whenever time I come out. But I come out like a fucking groundhog. It's maybe like once out of the year. But if I peek my head out and I don't like it, then I'm popping my head back in. You feel me? I'm popping my head back in because it's just too cold, too bitter. These bitter bitches, okay? I can be cold, but those bitches are bitter, okay? Freeze your fucking nips off. Like honestly, it's too much. It's really too fucking much. And I look very, very pretty. So let me go up on here and try to show you guys about how I'm trying. Well, actually, I was gonna have you guys watch me and then try to do like a BTS behind the scenes for my TikTok. But I think I'm just gonna worry about doing that on my own. We're already 30 minutes in. What's actually 28 minutes and 30 seconds into what this video is. I was going to do a more kind of, again, a more organizing video, but I will do that in another video. This video, I just wanted to address some certain matters because there's people really in their fucking feelings that has nothing to do with me. It's always, as always, has everything to do with them, and it's really fucking pathetic. Yeah, I'm beautiful inside and out. Whether you try to pick me apart with my makeup on, without my makeup on, I am a beautiful being inside and out. And you guys have done a whole lot of horrible shit in order to try to bring me down. And it's just like give it up. It's really fucking awful. Another thing that I think is definitely insane is how you guys are willing to collaborate with deep racist white women who are so insanely insecure that they're willing to go ahead and try to take a black token friend or something like that, even if they are acting as evil and vile as themselves. But it's just crazy because you guys are both having knives. You guys are both holding knives in your purses, or it's just like you will give some access to the deep racist white women will give certain access to certain access and elevate particular deep racist behaving black women but there's a glass ceiling because there's that line, they always want you to do well but never better than them. So the women have their own glass ceiling, and so like they don't want to be challenged, and they don't want to have competition because they see how sneaky and underhanded and corrupt and cruel Black women can be to their own people, especially in the way where it's like, okay, the most disastrous thing in history about Black people has been African American slavery. So if you see African American women do this willingly, easygoingly, and trying to make an art, try to make it into like an aesthetic or art about it, an art style about it, an art form about it, all the while collaborating and turning this into a business with deep racist white and non-black women. Then, of course, in the back of the either in the back of the mind of the deep racist white women or the non-black women, they're going to be like, bitch, we're not going to allow you. Like, first off, we're deep racists. Okay. We have to preserve our race. Second of all, you're horrible. Like, you really have to try to find the worst kind of things. Like, you will turn somebody upside down, inside out, and all around. You're horrible. You're a horrible fucking race, and this is why we're not allowing you to get to where you think you are allowed to get. Okay, so yeah, you marry a white man, but that's only still going to get you but so far, especially over here, because at the very end of the day, we birthed those white men. I swear to God. And then black women and black men, they will hold their little knives and their little fucking purses, because I'm telling you, the only men that I have problems with are bitches. I'm telling you. You guys will quickly do anything in order to sniff the pussy of anything that your dick decides to ring a ding a ling to. And that doesn't even mind. You don't even care if that person is toxic, violent, or maybe even has several fucking STDs, which she does. So it's just like, you guys you're pathetic. You're bitches, but definitely pathetic. So it's so it's just like, yo, I swear to you, I swear to you, I swear to you. You're an embarrassment to the other black men. You're an embarrassment to the other white women. You're an embarrassment to the other black women. You're an embarrassment to the other white men. I feel like there's white men that are fewer than this. There's just like, not with the fuck shit. You are an fucking embarrassment. And again, the part of this where the black women and the black men are holding the knives in their little purse, like the little knives in their purses. It's like, you're the ones to go about doing anything, and you call it hustling, and that includes selling out people who were closest to you, people who were your cheerleader, people who were there for you genuinely and authentically. You will step on them in order to excel, and you will close the door behind you, only creaking it open for certain people who can either push you further in a way that you can look good. And I was thinking of this, the movie too. I mean, not the movie, but the multiple series of Penguin, where he killed that adorable boy. And it was just like, yo, like he was actually helping him excel, but he was just like, yeah, but you're not helping me excel in the level that I'm at, or the level I'm going to be now, because you will look like a hindrance. Like, yeah, you can get me there, but you can't get me, like, you'd have to, like, we would have to have clandestine meetings. You can't actually get me there. You feel me? Like, you would still be a flaw. And I already have the flaw, which is my face and my stance and my stammer and all other kind of stuff. So like, let's not do that. I don't want to have you there. And if at best and if at worst, you just might actually outshine me, which will show my flaws even fucking more. So he decided to go ahead and unfortunately in that boy's life. And that's really fucking horrible. And it just shows you exactly like who you've made your poster child literally did the same fucking thing to you. This person was fat. This person was extremely obese. This person was a horrible person. This person was from the hood. This person was impoverished. This person, did a whole bunch. This person was on drugs, and from what I hear, is still on drugs. This person has done a whole lot of fuck shit, and a whole lot of fuck shit. Anything that you would call foul. Basically, more than likely, a lot of the things that you guys were probably falsifying about me, this person has done, and so now they're turning the finger on and being like, oh no, this is horrible, this is out here in the third. Oh, now all of a sudden, fat is out, overweight is out, having a little meat on your bones is out, da 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 da. That even being black is kind of out. Okay, it's only but so far on how you can try to poster the whole colorism situation, because it's just like, okay, bet. There's horribleness and wickedness around all over the place. But what are you going to actually do about it in order to kind of proceed and look past that? What are you going to do to excel? Because they're gonna look at that as like as a fucking hindrance. They're gonna actually just tell you to deal with it. I mean, they're gonna be like, oh, but like, okay, either deal with it or do something about it. And while you tell them, well, we can't do much about it because there's a hate, there's a limitation, and it's like, okay, well, you're telling us the same thing all over again. How do I know this? Is because it's the same kind of bullshit that you guys are keep speaking on to me, and it's the same thing that I keep observing from the background. You hate yourself and you hate exactly what you're doing. You don't know how to properly direct your pain and your anger and your issues. And you try to throw it onto me as some sort of fucking totem, but you show that you are weak, pathetic. And even though you try to identify me as weak and pathetic, I'm the person who has been carrying all this weight. Remember, I was the one that, was the, I guess, the fellow crustacean, not the person who would want to try to bring you down, but the one who would like extend her fucking like claw and want to help people. All kinds, blue crabs, red crabs, any kind of little hermit. But no, you guys would want to go ahead and do your best in order to try to like bring me the fuck down. And that's on you. That truly is on you. Um, it was just like, yeah, you you didn't want to you only wanted to help the crabs that either, I guess, had your same mentality or probably were a threat to you slightly, in a way, not in a threat where that person will outdo you in a very humble way, or be like work beside you in a humble way, but people who would probably do better than you and also slaughter you. If there's anybody who would honestly show you that they too can be an alpha, you would not try to mess with them. If you did, then you would try to use the slow or like the long game, or the roundabout way in order to usurp them, or boom, or to handle them. You would never do anything that was very, fair, just, honest, open, on up and up, or anything of that nature. You are very extremely pathetic. So again, as I said, when it's dealing with a yappy ass Gemini and somebody who uses her mouth in order for, well, multiple things from sex to drama and bullshit, I feel like this is just the best opportunity for, again, just keep asking them questions. Asking them questions like, oh, okay, well, wow, she did this. She did this. That's crazy. And where were you? Oh, wow, you're just an amazing person. That's wild. I actually seen a TV show of somebody who was actually doing those things, and I gotta tell you, that actress that played her is so fucking hot. Oh my god, so crazy, and that's wild. That's really wild. I'm not saying that I would want to probably like be in. Wow, I'm actually now I'm more intrigued to watch her. Like now, I'm more intrigued to watch Shalise. I'm wanting to see exactly if she's going to get any better based off on the lies, or based off on the details that you are telling me about her. Let's go look into this more. Okay, it's basically like, but here you are, she's still yapping your fucking ear off, and it's just like, okay, but like, let me just kind of see exactly what she's doing. Okay, you're making a joke and stuff like that, and that's funny, hee 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 ha ha ha. But like, you're talking during the movie, bitch. I'm actually kind of seeing exactly now that you're being a fucking hater, for fucking real. You're a fucking hater. Like, yo, why don't you shut the fuck up? And it doesn't seem like any of this possibly. It doesn't seem like any of this shit is actually honest. And even if it was honest, then it doesn't seem like this is what she is now. And a lot of the shit, if not the entirety, is lies and omitted truths, which therefore is a lie. So it's just like, yo, it's like, oh yeah, she lives in the hood. Are you telling people that I live in the hood because this was once my mother's house? She had passed away when I was a teenager, and my uncle unfortunately did not uphold his responsibilities when he had this house, and he was living with his wife and their kids. The house did not look anything like this. And so what I did, Shalise Mapp, at the tender age of like 2021, is acquire this house, use my own fucking money at 2021, get this house, fix it up, do new walls, new bathrooms, new flooring, some of the floorings and repairs and stuff like that I did on my fucking own. New carpet, new stuff, painted things, my money, my responsibility, paid off my dead mother's debt because he had kept shit in her name. That was me. All fucking me. And yet I have some raggedy ass lying ugly bitch who really needs to rollerblade her fucking forehead to make it shorter and do a whole lot of fucking shit in order to try to look like me and imitate me. Oh my god. How are you influencers and things of that nature trying to make yourself seem like you're actually a better fucking person than me, when you are so deeply fucking insecure that you have to debase yourself to represent somebody or support somebody who's always a constant reminder that she is insecure, bitter, and always needs to distract you with either recognition, rewards, access to certain kind of things, and like the material stuff that if you were actually decent Christians, not I'm not saying like Christian in general, because there's some bad Christians, some really horrible Christians. But if you were an actual decent Christian or a decent spiritualist or just a decent person in at all, then you would know that this is a person who's obviously just a fucking evil ass bitch. She doesn't like herself, even as much as she tries to pose herself as as a good person. And while she tries to victimize herself and things of that nature, I'm going to be showing you guys just some videos of just of me, okay? And that is how you deal with a fucking Gemini, an evil kind of ugly bitch who's employed by deep racists who are deeply insecure and like to go ahead and try to relive the days of moments in the horrible dark ways of African American history, where white women are threatened by deep racist white women are threatened by their positions and their stature, that they are delighted when they see any kind of black woman put down. So when you go ahead and start throwing pennies at that shit, when you are a perverted, ugly, old, aging, decrepit ass perverted person, you are being enticed and entitled and having like, your dick wet, disgusting, based off on seeing me put down too. And again, and respectively, you guys are all embarrassments. It's 41 minutes and 25 seconds. But I'm just saying, like, yo, like I see you right fucking through you. How do you think I should feel? I feel pretty. I feel pretty nice. You guys pretty suck. You suck actually a lot. You suck a lot. So yeah. So as this person is talking, she's basically being like, this is like a whole movie review. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but you ever like see somebody being a critic while a movie's playing, but you haven't really seen the movie. This person is really just giving you like, I guess, like the highlights and shit like that. Just take it for what it is. Um, this person typically will have like the gift of gab, and for people who are, I guess, who are like really lazy or something like that, we'll go ahead and try to take it and for what it is or what it was. But for me, I have much to do, and unfortunately, it has been delayed by a lot of the evil things that people have been doing behind the scenes. So I don't know. Just I would want to say that, hey, look, I am willing to be in certain people's company, but obviously within reason. I am somebody who's definitely who can be outgoing within reason. I feel like I'm, attractive. Especially, I look better in person than I do online. But if you feel like I am meow, I am. Congratulations, your eyes are, accurately working. I have a few talents of my own. I have been abstinent for several years, and that means that how would you know that I'm doing Kegels or not? You feel me? So, but just know. I'm a very sensual person. I have a Taurus North node. I have a Libra rising, and I am an Aries, Pisces cusp. But I feel like I am more so, and also have a Capricorn placement within me, and also artistically, I also have Aquarius too. I can be good with words. I can talk about anything. The thing about me though, and it's like I don't have to put you in the spot where you need to try to entertain me. I can be self-entertained. I've always been that kind of person. I'm really the person. It's so funny if anybody does astrology or not like that, but it's talking about the way how like a Leo is the sun, but it it is exalted in Aries. And I feel like while somebody is already entertaining you, I feel like I can like turn that shit up more. I can make something out of fucking nothing, which is why a lot of people are really bitter and and so gung ho with like wanting to try to be all up on my shit. Like they, I don't even know if that word is taboo anymore. I have to look that up because there's so many words right now that are bad, so I don't want to like say that. But there's just so many things related to or regarding who it is that I'm as a person, and that has that has been going on for a long time unchecked. For the people who pretended who wanted to be in my space, they haven't spoken up enough or loud enough in order for whomever to be shut up. So, here I am gonna have to, step out there and say some things and do some things. And also in the midst of that, putting people on blast. So yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm looking forward to that. I mean, people are talking about like, my style here and things of that nature, but I've had other priorities. I've had other responsibilities. I seen Pizza Lila. There's other things that I had, regarding school and my own health that people have been doing to fuck with that online and offline, medical gaslighting. Yeah, a lot of that stuff. and then lying about a lot of other stuff. It's wicked. It's so really horrible. But yeah, I think right now when it comes to the yapper questions that can be like, so wow. Actually, I don't want to. I don't want to delay you. I feel like somebody who's obviously a performative good parent, but really not. I feel like somebody who like that will probably hate questions because it's just like, oh, so like what about this? What about that? What about this? What about that? Hey, why are you do this? Why are you do that? In my Aries form, because the Aries is zibidi. I feel like just asking them a bunch of questions. It's like, oh, so what is this? Like you not giving a fuck at the very end of the day. They just like talking. So it's just like, okay, okay, well then what about this? And what about that? And what about this? And what about that? Switch between those, a whole bunch of questions without a whole bunch of questions that that will not answer or be reflective of what it is that they're talking about. They can be like, wow. So did you know that when I went to Starbucks that the street on Plymouth Ave is closed so for like several days? And they'd be like, oh wow. So did you hear about how the Yankees lost to the Sixers? I don't even know if that's a really accurate sports story. But they were like, what does that have to do with anything? I don't know, but did you know that butterflies happen to fly backwards sometimes? They were like, no, did you hear what I said? I don't even know if that butterfly thing is true. But they're like, did you hear anything that I said? I'm hearing you say stuff, but I'm wondering exactly like how do you get to Sesame Street? Like you feel me? Like like piss the bitch off. Like she just wants to talk. She just wants to talk. Like why would you want to give anybody some kind of like fucking credit about like being who they They're just this is a horrible person. So just asking questions. Just keep asking questions. That's doing either that and or ignore them. And for me, whenever they're talking a whole bunch of shit behind my back, I just ignore them. And I just kind of like either I'll if it's funny, I can be the kind of person who will laugh at it, and then that's when that person will see. This is the thing. Back when we were like, when we were kids, she would say some slick shit, and I'd be like, okay, so what do you mean by that? And then they'd be like, oh, you know that I'm joking because at a certain point, she would know that I would encounter with her was like, oh, but what do you mean by that? Or something like that, something equivalent. And she'd be like, oh, well, you know that I'm joking. I'm like, okay. And then I talk about something she's insecure about or something that will definitely trigger her. And then, all of a sudden, like, oh, she's a victim. I'm like, no, no, no. Let's get this fucking going now. So now how about this? And that is my way of getting back at them. But it's just like, okay, well, like, now we're like, we're basically bantering. Like we're basically it's like what was that TV show with Nick Cannon? It was like All Out or something like that. We're just kind of going back and forth with each other. But you see, now at this now at this point in time, you have just a punk ass bitch doing the shit behind the scenes and stealing a lot of my characteristics and things of that nature. So it's really fucking pathetic at the very end of the day. But yeah, if anybody has to deal with just her toxicity or any other kind of person who's a yapper or just really fucking annoying, just ask them the questions or zone the fuck out and or just ignore them. And as they boo hoo and cry and shit like that, I'm like, damn. Wow, you're really fucking sensitive. Because they would really throw that shit up on you. I literally have things to be sensitive about. I literally have things to be angry about. The things I've been through, the things that I've lost, that have been, taken from me, harms. Best fucking believe it. So yeah, while you guys are listening to the female equivalent of a really bad Roger Ebert, uh, I'm gonna go do my thing, which means that I'm going to go ahead and try to film that little skitty douche thing from TikTok, and yeah, might even go eat something right quick before I do that. Okay.